Thanks for tuning in to me, Justin McDonald, with another results required radio, is what we're going to call it, based on a quote from a book, usually, from an entrepreneur, from a marketer, from a copywriter. And sometimes it might even be one of my own, too. It might be something I come up on my own. It might be maybe it might not even be from an author sometimes, but today we do have another one from Peter Thiel, and it's winning is better than losing, but everybody loses when the war isn't worth fighting. So that reminds me of picking your own battles, knowing when to quit. There's a lot of hidden injustices in the world today, and I know we've discussed them on another stream or another cast. And later, oftentimes, when you find out like the purpose behind certain events, like wars and such, it could be devastating when we realize that it was like a war that wasn't even worth fighting. And I like that one because we bring that kind of stuff up today. There's a lot of different social identity issues going on today, and sometimes we have to find the balance in these things, because in agree and get on middle ground, especially in business, because a lot of times you're seeing a lot of things having to do with social media and people basically starting wars that aren't worth fighting. And it's very distracting to the productivity and the conducive atmosphere of business. Whether it be a retail store, whether it be an online e-commerce, there's a lot of different situations where you might see disruption and distraction, and it shouldn't be tolerated, but it is. And it's tough because we live in a society too that latches onto that kind of stuff. And so if you can create a conducive work atmosphere for yourself, that's a healthy work environment where you can not be so tapped into all that negativity out there, then that's great. Especially if you've kind of created your own platform that kind of just like filters out that nonsense. Because I don't know what it is, but maybe it was because of like the pandemic and all these other things. But people are just bored, or they just want something to fight for and believe in. But you're seeing a lot of like almost like civil war type stuff going on today. On a micro level, but I guess you can say like not everybody's on the same page. And I think that everybody that can be respectful and can be competent and like especially respectful should be able to voice what it is that is an injustice for them. And I would say, especially today, if you want to apply common sense in these type of situations, I would say most of the time, if you just think about it in a lot more logical kind of way, I think we can all get to a level of an even playing ground and be fair. And I think that's what a lot of people, I think that's what most people want. So this is like I don't think it's the same thing as just like equal rights. Of course, I'm not trying to talk about that, but like I think it's like fair that everybody um, gets an equal say that's involved in whatever business transaction is going on, no matter like on a smaller scale or bigger scale. I think there should be room for everybody to say what they need to say. In all fairness, everybody gets the same amount of time to speak their mind. And it'd be nice to see us go back into that. But nobody should be feeling left out of the conversation. Sometimes there's an overwhelming majority to lean one way or to lean the other way. But again, it goes back to this too. Everybody loses when the war isn't worth fighting. So at the end of the day, you gotta wonder too, like, how is this event, how is this situation going to be resolved? And if it is, who wins, why, and the people that don't win, why is it important for them to win? What happens when they lose? Is there a way we can all win? And obviously, the most common sense, intellectual, I would say, intelligent way to handle that is to literally not partake in it. I just think that when it comes to like war and court systems and all that stuff, I think that stuff's better. My personal belief, it's much better reserved for more, I guess you can say, serious, exaggerated, there's like last resort kind of approach. Especially like actual war, when we're going to war like with other countries, like that shouldn't be like the priority. That shouldn't be the goal or the mission, is to go to war with somebody. It should 100% absolutely be the last, you know what I mean, the last card you pull. I mean, you want to, of course, always be mentally and physically prepared for attack, but you don't want to be on the offense, right? You want to have a better defense and don't stick your nose in places where you shouldn't. And if you do, if you play dangerous games, like they say, you're gonna get dangerous prizes. You play stupid games, you're gonna get stupid prizes. So just remember, like, there are things, and there are a lot of things in life that are worth fighting for. Not physically hurting anybody, I'm saying, but to stand up for yourself and to not take no for an answer, I guess you can say. To not let others treat you as if you were a crab in a bucket. And what I mean by crab in a bucket is that oftentimes when in people's lives, when they're trying to be successful, or they might have a good idea, or they might be um, trying to go on a new path. A lot of times, um, it could be their friends, their family, their coworkers, or their peers will try to kind of almost pull them back, like a crab in a bucket. Like, because that's what happens. Like if you have like a bunch of crabs in a bucket and one tries to get out, the rest of them will pull it back in, as if like the one being that's trying to progress and do better, it's like a threat to the rest of society. And it is often the case. You need to have thicker skin to be able to be in this entrepreneur game, to be in business, to be a CEO, to be a business owner, to run your own business. Whatever it is, you need to have thick skin. You need to be able to fight the good fight without lethal and deadly force. You know, like just keep giving every day another try, your best shot is what I'm trying to say by giving it a fight, by not just giving in at the first no and things like that. But again, like it really does matter why. Like why are you trying to win something? Why is it important that you lose? What's the real consequence? What's the real loss of losing? Is there more things to gain even if you lose? Or vice versa? Because um, sometimes just like the prospect of losing or winning for people is enough of a reason to fight. And that's not good either. Sometimes, like, people are almost looking for a fight, and you want to stay far away from that. It's not worth it. You, as an entrepreneur, as a human being, have much to lose to be able to just get involved in silly, petty fights that could have irreversible damage. So don't get involved in them. Fight the good fight. Stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for good, the good in humanity. Stand up for your brothers and sisters and your neighbors and your family and the people that you love. Absolutely. But don't get involved in all these little petty little social things that might be a big deal today, and then next year or next week it's gonna be something else, and it'll be something else, and it'll be something else, and like, I'm not saying none of them aren't worth like participating in. I'm sure there are plenty that are, but you just be mindful. You know what I mean? Ask yourself at the end of the day, is this war worth fighting for? Or am I better off being productive in some way? Reading, even writing, studying, riding a bike, I don't care, going outside, hanging out with your friends and family, watching a movie. I'm sure most of those things are probably better than going to war. But sometimes there's an injustice that happens, and within a company, a community, or business, or at somebody's institution or school, or maybe even at home. And there's times where you need to stand up for yourself and to fight the good fight, but don't go looking for them. So that's all I have to say for you today. Give it your best shot. Pick your battles, and have a lovely day. Peace.